secret. Most people would already be fearful of that.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they won the game show line, which didn't have... I guess it had Vega in it, and 4CL, and that was 4CL before, you know, things happened.
Shadow Shaman. He has been the hero. The hero to just win all lanes. That early Ether Shock, and of course, now that you're able to have the lens pick up, the new item in Dota 2, the Shadow Shaman with his shackles as well as his Ether
like the
Shock.
10,000 range shackle.
Yeah. It's the Ether Shock as well. Like, he never has to put himself into peril to actually spam out his nuke. So as long as he can just sit in the back line, he's got this huge fork nuke.
I kind of like that item. I think it might be a little bit too good right now for cost, but it's pretty interesting. I was watching a Sand King play the other day, and then they had Aghanims plus that item, and I looked at I hovered over the skill just to see like the green bar.
Yep.
It reaches like the edge of the screen, like every edge of the screen. I was like, what the?
Well, welcome to my day yesterday. When we had that on, we're just like each time we're like hovering over it. We had to make sure that the bar actually represented correctly, and it turns out it does.
Prepare for battle.
Aggressive TPs from Wings.
Did somebody just use an item or something?
Yeah, TP scroll to the mid.
No, I meant. Okay, never mind. I'm going in. Wait, am I?
What's missing for you?
No, nothing. I think I just went insane for a second. That's all.
You're meant to be the sane one here. I'm meant to be the mentally unstable one. What do we got? So, the aggressive wards into the mid. Wings actually saw that observer ward being placed down in the mid lane. So Team Secret, their first ward's already been scouted out. It's rather defensive wards though from Wings. Like one ward watching over the pit, the other one watching the mid lane.
I think that's kind of expected, especially when you're playing... Okay, what's going on here?
30
It's actually
seconds.
gonna...
Oh, they're prepping for a pull.
Yeah.
They're cutting through the tree line, so they're preparing just to completely sack, not sack, but destroy that bottom lane of secrets.
I like this. So it's not going to be a mid-tiny.
Oh,
is it?
It's the toss play. Shackles already. Gyrocopter. Welcome to First Blood. He walked up the hill and he walked into the Ancient Apparition's Chilling Touch, as well as the shackles from Puppy.
The damage on the new shackles, by the way, guys, is absurd.
Yep.
Like it's been buffed so many times that it's an independent nuke plus a disable. At the early phases of the game, it's incredibly strong, and it is something that they have to worry about. But it's going to be the Keeper of the Light, Tiny off, the Bristleback mid, the Night Stalker, who will be here just to kind of help things out a little bit to get things going.
They've cut through so many trees.
And he even needs the ward for him. Good stuff.
I want to see exactly how Faith times this. If he pulls the camp over and then just tosses one back.
Oh, they get strong. If Puppy was there, they probably don't have kill potential on him though. And in fact, the Gyro is going to play up, not afraid of anything.
Faith didn't get the timing right.
That is... Okay, this is something you actually have to practice. And
with his pull down, he can't even stack it that way. So he failed to get the initial aggro of the second wave top lane, the shackles on the Gyrocopter, and the Ember Spirit. A perfect searing chain. Shadow's in so much trouble. The attack from AA will be enough. And Innocence, it's got no defense nature, because all he's got is the boots, so he has to move back away from Team Secret.
I mean, in a way, that's a defensive item build. Just, you know, you play the move speed of the Rocket Barrage and stuff like that. Like, I doubt that if he had any stat items, he survives there anyways. But it's just a really powerful tri-lane that they have going. Kudos to Envy for leveling the steering chains first.
He understood the combo. Okay, Faith did get the pull. So
okay,
he's finally dragged it over as Ice strikes the wave up, but Misery's not going to let this stand.
If Misery actually just takes this would be such a shame for him. Okay, he's going to get it. Alright.
It's Whirling Death. In fact, Faith's not... He's not really going to survive this. With the chain down, you got Whirling Death back off cooldown, a good avalanche finds a space. And they're actually going for... what? Yeah, he'll get out. Misery will get out. It's the middle lane which is the trouble. Shackle from Weeha onto the back of the Bristleback, and now there's nowhere to go apart from down. He'll get picked off, and the Courier was even delivering in the bottle. Luckily, it didn't go the entire way, or else he would have lost the Courier with the bottle as well.
Yeah, and it was hard for this the Bristleback to survive. He only has one level of the Bristleback. On top of that, the Wind Ranger is a difficult matchup. And most importantly, Team Secret, they have a rough idea of where wards are. But that still probably should have been called by Wings. The 2 people up there, especially when you're running an aggressive tri-lane, it should kind of just be the signal to, hey, they might be actually getting aggressive. And at this bottom lane...
Misery's back in it. He actually chains down the hill and then cuts his way to freedom.
Oh no, himself. He's still doing pretty well down here. I just gotta find a regen, alright.
I was actually wondering why Misery didn't look for a little bit more regen. Something like, I don't know if the Fairy Fire is really the place to go for him, but we saw a lot of players using that yesterday to escape from those rotation ganks, where you just pop both of them and you get like an instant 150 life.
Yeah, it's a really interesting item. I know I was talking to Purge about it, and he thinks it might be a little bit too expensive for what it gives you, but the fact that you can just like instantly restore HP, it really messes with people's Dota math. And that's something that's so important is, in Dota, things are so precise that you almost never want to overkill. You just want just enough, right? So you don't have to over-rotate heroes or anything like that.
Yep.
But when it comes to items like the Fairy Fire or the Wand, it completely screws up your math. It makes it so that it's no longer quite what you expect. So it's a pretty good pickup on a lot of different heroes.
Misery is really getting up in the face of the Tiny, and Tiny might try and punish him. Faith with the toss. Actually doesn't throw Misery back. And with the reactive armor charges, it's only 5 charges from him because it's only level 1, but it's like Ice as well as Faith can't do anything about it. Surprising too, you wouldn't go for something else like Mana Leak up against someone like a Timbersaw.
Yeah, I guess even the single level of the mana, especially when you Timber Chain, it continues to hook on through because it's just such a slow spell. But I guess just opting to go for something a little bit more DPS heavy, but I don't even know if they have kill potential there.
Like if you could, does it actually work with the toss as well? Because the toss like throws you backwards.
All right, Misery is starting to kind of get low. Does have to start worrying as I think he might just die here actually.
Yeah, with the rotation coming, the Illuminate's going to connect, and Tiny with the end up toss gets the kill. Secret instantly try and like rebuttal up on the top lane, but Shadow's been pretty damn good just hiding in the side of the tree line away from the vision of Secret.
I think potentially even without the Night Stalker there, that might have been a kill for them. Just because he was so low. But having the Night Stalker there, it means that he can rotate down to this mid lane, which I think they want to start doing, putting a little bit of pressure on Weehaw. Unfortunately for them, it's only a level 1 Crippling Fear. And the level 1 Void also doesn't do too much for you, the way that they changed it. So they're actually going to have to rotate Faith in for this as well. And you need this gank to work right now if you're Wings. Well, they're going to go from behind him and find the angle.
They are. They actually get the Void off, but the avalanche from Faith airballs.
Oh,
Weehaw keeps the win run going as he runs up the river.
Nobody's
and what's Faith going to do now? He can harass it a little bit into Weehaw, but he won't get much more.
That's so frustrating. That was just an unfortunate event after unfortunate event. I feel like they had to lead with maybe something like tossing the Night Stalker and then him silencing. Maybe that's the better way to do it. But then they might lack for damage. I'm not sure.
They would have had a little bit of trouble anyway, because like Weehaw had 17 with stick 1 charges when they came in, plus having that Fairy Fire.
I think it was pretty unlikely that they get that kill.
Yeah.
If your Night Stalker is level 2, or has level 2 Void, I mean, then maybe that's a potential, but he's gone for a 1-1-1 skill build. Which really does hurt you nowadays. Like, before it was, what, 4 seconds at all levels for Void? But now it's 2.5 and then it scales up.
Nice Dog is still going to have a crackdown here on bottom lane. Chakra it up. It's the middle lane, which is probably the most successful gank. The smoke move from Paladai and Puppy. They wrap all the way around, but Bristleback moves back at just the right time. So Puppy is unable to get those shackles off. Rather difficult to fight during this nighttime. Misery's burnt every bit of his mana, but he's almost got his Arcane Broods up and running.
Yeah, and that's when his farm will start to kick in, so it should be okay. He's even going to pop his Mango. And they might just run into the jungle here. It is only the 2 supports, and this might just be a bait in.
With that Illuminate hit, it hits Puppy and Paradise so heavily. You got the Cold Feet and the Night Stalker. You won't be able to outrun this, but with the help of Ice, it's only Ice, he's going to bring down Paladai. The power shot will fly, and now in comes your Chakra. Chakram. Wow. Brain, please. There.
It's okay, Toby.
I'm getting half of the ability and they're mixing it up. I'm getting lost halfway, Blitz.
I'm proud. Alright, but that was so well set up by the supports from Wings. Like the way that they move into the tree line, they know for a fact that somebody's there using that ward. Just really well done.
I was actually interested to see too where Wings were going to plant down their wards after such a defensive start with their warding. Like a lot of the time we saw wards being placed a little bit closer down towards this ramp area, deeper inside the Radiant jungle, and manipulating the top of this hill. It gives you so much vision of the movements of the Radiant side.
Yeah, if you just want to play as aggressively as possible with the ward vision, in the early game you can get a high ground ward mid for your team and stuff like that, but past that phase, you want to try to invade the Radiant jungle. I think that part of the game still hasn't changed, and especially when you run a lineup like an offlane Tiny, this is a hero that may not scale too well, so you want to try to get him a decent early start, especially when he's got a Keeper of the Light, no disable as a support, and a top Eternal Envy. He's just going to Spirit out.
He tried to bait him as far away as possible, understanding that their Spirit was still behind. Wings understood that. They actually pinged it out while they were battling out, saying he's going to jump back to here, but there was no way they could ensure the damage.
No, I think even if the Night Stalker poison there, they don't have enough to quite finish him.
Fun little vision on this bottom lane. One Dire Observer Ward is able to watch exactly what Puppey and Pilot Eye are doing, but the Radiant Observer Ward, it sees what Ice is up to, and also understands where Faith's movement is too, so they can't take him by surprise. And really surprisingly is the fact that Weeha's getting so much space in the middle lane. The Bristleback has backed all the way home. And this just allows Weeha to focus fire down that mid tower.
And he's going to even power shot, because he knows for a fact that the supports are coming in. He just wants to verify this.
Okay.
That's
chasing
a bit
in the Keeper of the Light, and there's your Mana Leak going on the Ember Spirit. He'll wait it out a little bit longer, and now, in fact, it starts attacking into Ice. The tower's already been denied by the Bristleback, but Envy, he finds the kill. The question is, can he get himself out of this one? You commit for a Keeper of the Light. He's got a Spirit available, as well as a Searing Chains, but he needs more life, and there it is. The Spirit down, but Faith was there.
He actually just
was
catches
actually waiting for him. 506 gold, a level 6 Tiny now because of the kill, and Eternal Envy caught out by the Rockman.
I mean, I understand the point of when he goes in on that Keeper of the Light. He doesn't think that they'll have enough, especially in the daytime, but that Mana Leak really just did its work. It was like that last FU, you know, Toby?
Yep.
He's just like, I might die, but I've got this. The Bristle even pops the haste to try to get Puppey, but he's way out of there.
Yeah. Well, it's just a rune contest. Puppey was a little bit late on the Hex. He needed to actually get the other form of control. How's Misery doing on the bottom? Like, he's still sitting at, like, if you look at the net worth board, the top 3 still belong to the Secret Cause. Like, we are at the very, very top, a full 1,000 ahead of the Bristleback. They've only brought down one tower. The tower wasn't actually fully taken. I believe it was actually denied by the Bristleback.
Yes, it was. Which was unfortunate because Weeha committed so much that he couldn't even help Envy for that engagement, because he decided to just kind of all in the tower for that particular engagement. And at top, looks like they do want to get aggressive. He's going to commit the Spirit, but
he forces the rotations at least. Weeha's waiting for this. Shadow doesn't have a lot of life on him, but then again, he's got 7 1 charges, so he does have something to work with.
Yeah, and he's got to be careful as his Flame Guard starts to tick down. His Faith, he's all the way up there too. And at 2150 gold, really close to that Blink Dagger. This is what they're going to need to start their fights. And they put so much into this Tiny. If he doesn't get a Blink Dagger at a reasonable time, what do they really do to kill anybody? Unless somebody from Secret overcommits.
They could try out and outlast. Like, that Keeper of the Light's got really, like, high farm. Because he's almost picked up the mech. Yeah, Weehan's getting tossed around. They still don't have enough damage unless they can keep him controlled there, and actually turns around for the focus fire with the Mana Leak. Weeha, how long can you keep this up? He's got his 1 charges available. The Illuminate will connect. Now in comes Eternal Envy, chasing up that Keeper of the Light, but Faith already finds the kill. The Ice Blast will fly in, but Faith is the only one really being affected by this.
Oh, Envy's out of
Eternal
mana.
Envy, he still can't get the kill on the Keeper of the Light. The Blinding Light forced him back out, and now you got the Bristleback. There's no Spirit, there's no mana. Okay, there's the mana off. The 6 charges will trigger, and he'll get himself back up into the Radiant jungle. But he's got nothing more to give.
That was such a lose-lose situation for the Bristleback. He's like, do I goo? He doesn't have mana, but I'll give it to him if I continue to chase. But at top, Highlight Die. They might get a big rebuttal kill here, though.
Does Misery have enough? He's
1
got Chain
second.
off cooldown. There it is.
Good rotation. Misery's second in net worth now.
That's actually really amazing for him. That puts him up to level 11. He's 2 levels above that of the Wind Ranger, as well as the Gyrocopter. Innocence is prepping a trap. Faith is on the way. Innocence, it's actually managed to juke this around, but the TP support's coming in from
Who's setting what trap?
I don't know, but when Envy arrives, Innocence can't run away from this one until he actually spirits back and then into the Avalanche. The toss of Faith trying to keep Envy away from him, but it's just not possible. There's just too much jump available as they chase Faith underneath the tower. The focus fire from YIGI will bring down the Tiny, trying to run himself away from the Bristleback, but the quill stacks are starting to kick in. 4 stacks, in fact, go over on the Wind Ranger. But Secret will disengage. Wings bring in more support, but they just can't keep the chase up.
Yeah, without their Tiny or their Night Stalker available, there's almost no chance that they get any sort of rebuttal there. Really well done overall by Secret. They were able to find the first pick off on the Night Stalker. As soon as the Tiny goes down, they know there's almost no rebuttal here. As long as Envy keeps his spirit up. They've got such mobile heroes with their cores. Like the Timber Saw's got the Timber Chain. The Ember Spirit has the Fire Spirit. Wind Run. Just incredibly mobile. It's hard to keep up with something like that. Especially when you're a Bristleback. Like, you're trying so hard, and the level 1 goo is okay. Like 20% move speed slow, but you'd really like a stun in a situation like that.
Faith smoking down to the bottom lane, searching for an opening. Maybe on Puppey is the way to go.
Misery's about
yep,
to...
there it is. Oh. Avalanche toss. Found the right timing. The first big hit of the Blink Dagger of Faith. But can he get himself out of this one? YIGI and Envy are rotating over, and that Blink is still on cooldown.
Oh,
YIGI going to shackle him to the tree, then Focus Fire. Envy's coming back over again with the Spirit, but Faith, he'll get the toss, but it won't stop YIGI from doing the final bits of damage. In fact, it's going to be the Ember Spirit. Envy kill secures that after YIGI did most of the work.
What looked like a really good pick-off, and maybe something that they could get the ball started on, just turns into losing another core. And Wings, they can't really afford something like this. Like, their lineup... They do have a decent amount of teamfight, I guess, but not as much control as you'd like to see. As top lane, Shadow, it's not very tanky. He's got to be careful as he expends the call down, and both the supports are going to rotate in. Misery's going to get mana leaked, and the silence comes off too. They might have enough damage for this, but he does have the Bloodstone Suicide.
Doesn't get it off. This is actually something which we saw on yesterday, actually, with MVP when they were playing.
Top tower is under attack.
Highlight die.
We weren't certain if it was actually a bug, or if it was actually just frame loss. That was the excuse which we got back from MVP, where it's just like, yeah, we hit it, but the timing was off.
Yeah, it's okay there. Still, he's gonna respawn pretty quickly with that Bloodstone. See, he makes his way up top almost immediately. It's not as important for a hero like Timbersaw to stack up on Bloodstone charges, like say a Storm or anything like that. But still,
you don't want to go backwards.
Yeah, exactly. You can keep stable.
Wings is really prepared for this top lane fight. It's amazing as well, just how effective this mana leak is. Now, actually, Ice, like he went for the initial like 3-0-2, and now everything else he's been putting in is into mana leak, realizing just how powerful it is.
Yeah, he realizes that against the Wind Run and the Timber Chain, especially the Ember Spirit too, actually, it's going to be incredibly powerful. And most importantly, they just need something to continue to chase Toby. And
here they go. Faith jumps in with the Avalanche toss. YIGI will remain alive. That Ice Blast, it's going to hit on Bristleback. They're far enough back with the rest of Wings they don't get affected. But these Mana Serpent Wards, there's your Timber Saw suicide.
Really early.
Yep. There you go for the shackle over on Tiny. Ember Spirit's coming in with the BTs. But Wings just back out. They want to retreat out as far as they possibly can. The mech now back off cooldown. Shackles is controlling up Tiny with the blinding light, forcing Puppey back. The Avalanche will connect, but Faith is still locked inside the cold feet. The Illuminate from Ice connects very, very nicely, but the damage onto Wings is a little bit too high. Gyrocop's about to go down until he rocket barrages into Puppey. Finds the kill. YIGI, he's run out of mana, which means he's going to get stunned up. They have the Void, but this is still a daytime fight. Ice Blast will probably almost ensure the kill over on Innocence if YIGI can just get one more thing off, but he's got nothing left in the tank, both health and mana. So they get the double kill on Ice to Misery. He'll find one, but now what else has Misery got? He gets silenced up. The mana leak came out at him as well, and he missed the Timber Chain, which allows the Bristleback to have a little bit more time to beat into him, get the Cool Spray stacks up, remove a little bit of the armor with a goo. As Misery, oh, he misses another chain. There's no tree there for Misery to jump to. He'll go down to both the Night Stalker and the Bristleback.
That's going to be 6 down for Secret, as they lose a lot of heroes for that engagement. Envy. His eyes were a little bit too big. as he decides to go in. Hops in so deep, Toby, and they try to get the turnaround, but the strength of the gyrocopter, coupled with the fact that the supports there from Wings played that so well. The Keeper of the Light got mana leak on pretty much every single target. Even kind of gets that last hurrah off when he gets it off onto the Timber Saw. Just really good fight overall for them. That's 6 heroes if you couple it with the Bloodstone Suicide early on into the fight. And now that is a very measly 3 Bloodstone charges for Misery. Like, we were complaining about how it was like, if he had 8, he'd be happy. It's just being reset. It's like, it's okay. 1-1 team fight. You'll get back to that, but it's going to take a full team wipe to kind of get back to normal for him. And Envy doesn't have a lot of farm because he's devoted so much into getting into these early engagements.
His net worth is still up there, though, with the rest of Wings. He's just not as far ahead as we'd probably expect Eternal Envy to be. I'm also surprised at this Bristleback. Maybe not so surprised that it's a BKB, but after watching most of the builds coming out yesterday, the Vanguard into Crimson Guard was highly prioritized from the Bristlebacks, as well as even just having a casual cloak, so you just tanked through everything. Get the early Vit booster if you wanted to as well.
Seems like there's more of a mid-game focus, though. Yeah. With the mech completed on the Keep of the Light. And it's going to be the Roshan for Team Secret.
Can Wing Scout this out? Are they grouping up for a smoke and they're coming down to Roshan?
They don't have their gyro, though.
They're burning through this? Yeah, without the gyrocopter, this might be a little bit more difficult, but the smoke's going to break, and Faith, does he go for it? There's your Ice Blast already in the shackle, latching him to the tree line. It bought the space for Secret to bring down Roshan, but that Illuminate does terrible damage at the moment, and the gyrocopter has arrived with the cooldown. We are locked inside the pit. Is he going to try and escape out? At this point, it's still a 1-for-2 trade-off, as the Night Stalker will also die, and Envy commits into Shadow Burst. The Bristol back on the front lines, starting to stack up onto that Shadow Shaman, who doesn't really have much mana, can't get the one charges up in time. So they find the kill. Ember Spirit standing his ground, but the mana leak, he just can't stop it. Ember Spirit even getting done by the rocket. There's mana now into the gyrocopter, thanks to the Keeper of the Light. Getting that rocket barrage
another
off,
mana leak.
Another mana leak. Man, this is so good. A triple kill coming the way of Shadow, with a big thanks to Ice's support on that Keeper of the Light. This hero is real.
And the Bristleback just goes in, unafraid of everything with that early BKB pickup, and what looked like an early good engagement by Team Secret when they were able to burst down the Tiny just turns out pretty disastrous for them, as the team fight potential for these heroes is so strong. And
they
these
still
multiple mana leaks.
They at least managed to keep up the Aegis so far on the Wind Ranger, but they might lose that in a moment. Shadow's coming in with a call down. Weehar and Misery going to get hit pretty hard by that. And Bristleback, they weren't really ready for this. They start the mana leak over on Weehar as they Blinding Light push him back. He's lost almost all of his mana, keeps the run going, and he's actually out. They'll find the hit, and they burn the Aegis to the Immortal. Eternal Envy's back to the world of the living, but Innocence, he's diving so deep to control Misery, while Weehar isolated in the middle of 4 heroes of Wings. The tower's still going to go down, the Illuminate connects again, and the Bristleback, again with that BKB, protected enough that he's able to help get that kill. In fact, does take that kill on Weehar. Wings just playing this beautiful 5-man ball into Secret.
I mean, you're just seeing the power of the mana leak. I can't talk enough about this ability because it hurts Secret so much. You see Weehar right there in that situation. He has Wind Run up, but he doesn't want to run away. He's just kind of like, this is such a lose-lose situation. If I run, I'll just get stunned up. If I don't, then I die anyways. Ice, he's got so much farm right now. Almost has the Aghanim Scepter completed too. That's when things start to get really rough, is they'll have vision during both phases of the game.
Puppy's getting the hell out of there. TP's back and still, like, just by the space of half a second. If Faith was able to get there a little sooner, this time would have been a possibility. 17-17. Wings with the gold advantage now, stretching over 2,000. Their net worth only about 500. It's not really that big for 21 minutes into a game, but it just shows you that Wings is still, they're standing toe-to-toe here with Team Secret.
Yeah, and now they've been usurped in net worth as the Gyrocopter, who was pretty heavily pressured early on into the game, has caught up completely. He's got the S&Y completed now too, so this is going to make him incredibly tough to kill. Gives him a lot of teamfight potential too. And although the Aghanim Scepter on the Wind Ranger is complete, it just kind of feels like they're being zoned out pretty hard by both the supports from Wings.
Also feels like Weehar's never able to attack properly. Every time he comes into a fight, the Keeper of Light is there with Blinding Light.
Yeah.
And then Aghanim Scepter is almost done. over on the Keeper of the Light, which is kind of a little ironic that he has that. Primarily because he's running with the Night Stalker.
Yeah, and then Keeper of the Light TP somebody down as they're going to go for this bottom tower. A lot of pressure being put on this, but Secret's response is just push out top, trade 1 for 1, and that's perfectly fine.
They get the Battle Fury up on the Ember. It's taken a little bit of time, so it's a 23-minute Battle Fury for Eternal Envy.
It's not too off your timer though, considering how this game's gone. And this is when things start to turn around a little bit for the Ember Spirit.
Oh, they're coming down. Innocence is wrapping around. They want to have a crack at Misery. He blinks himself back, and Misery is... at least keeps the creep wave off the tower.
They might not have the damage for this. They would need another hero. And one isn't really interested in rotating in.
What do you think about this build over on Puppey? Actually avoiding going for something like a Blink Dagger, so he's not going for the positional initiation. Instead he goes for a Solar Crest with the Urn and the Arcanes.
You need the armor, and it helps against heroes like the Bristleback, the Tiny, and the Gyrocopter, coupled with your wards. Just a little bit more damage out there.
Middle tower is under attack.
Going for, I guess, the other item that you would kind of consider would be the Aghanim Scepter, but doesn't do as much. Like the Solar Crest also allows you to go for the early Roshan a little bit quicker, and it pairs nicely with the Wind Ranger.
Bringing Envy back up to this top lane. Joins the rest of his teams. Normally Envy is the one that's going away from where the rest of his team is, taking that split push farm.
In this game, he kind of feels like the person that's actually leading the charge, though. Like, every single time he's in there with the Spirit first, but feels like he's being punished much more heavily than he normally is in a game like this.
It could make a little bit more sense if he's doing that if Timbersaur's got a lot of momentum behind him, because then he does play kind of like the sponge role as the offlaner of Team Secret. But Misery just doesn't have any like real momentum on him. Even now he's got this Blink Dagger, and the net worth still fairly high up in his team, and not far behind Wings. Just doesn't seem to have that presence in the fight.
Yeah, top tower is going to get traded out though as a result. I think Team Secret, just by virtue of how the previous fights have gone, are kind of just avoiding, trying to outmaneuver a little bit, get control of the enemy jungle.
It's
done a pretty good job of this so far.
It's going to be so difficult for them to keep map control up. Faith waiting. Actually waited for the end of the Sleight of Fist on the Ember Spirit. We'll see what Envy's got. He's got a Spirit all the way up inside the Dire jungle. So it gets away but cops a lot of damage for it. But the Keeper of Light now has its Aghanim Scepter done. So it's permanent recall, allowing Wings to be a lot more aggressive out inside the enemy jungle or wherever, and just be dragged back if Team Secret try and force it. But then again, is that even Secret's plan? Like, is their plan to force it, or is their plan to look for team fights against Wings?
I think that you're just going to try to outmaneuver them, farm out their jungle, and then go for some sort of smoke timing. But the crazy thing about Wings' lineup, Toby, is just the amount of vision that both of their cores give them. Like, you've got one core in the Keeper of the Light that gives you unobstructed day vision, and then once the Night Stalker gets his own Aghanim Scepter, you've got unobstructed night vision. So you pick up a gem, and you see everything.
It's kind of funny though. That's why I don't fully understand getting both of them together. Because Night Stalker will keep it like nighttime most of the time.
Yeah, but you know.
Oh, they jump in. Avalanche toss over on Misery. The Ice Blast is on the way in, and Misery will be able to chain himself up. But they Glimmer Cape if they got themselves a stun. Timbersaw, he's away. Barely escaping.
Half a second away. That would have been a huge kill for Wings. That is one of their main their cores that they still have to worry about is the Timbersaw. Is ahead of the Wind Ranger in net worth, but they're going to steal some camps over here, and now it's Wings. They're going to smoke up.
Yeah, they're moving up towards the Dire jungle, and they're going to find Weeha, the Blink Avalanche, but Weeha too quick.
He's way out of there. It's just awkward going up that hill. Like, I think Wings had some idea that he was there, but by not, you don't have a ward up. You're just kind of walking in blind. Weeha sees that coming 100%. That's just more reaction time.
If he wasn't standing like in this region, like if he was a little bit further up, then it would have been a better chance for him. And that's a lot of stacks on the Ancients too.
Even then,
Shadow's getting such a huge injection of money. Wait, is he getting pulled out as he's starting up the Ancients? Yeah, Keeper of the Light's dragging him over. He found Puppey. He needs the extra damage from the Gyrocopter to ensure the kill. With a blinding light back, Puppey just gets stunned up. The rocket hit connects, and Tiny just tosses himself a Shaman. And And what does Faith now build into? Like, does he just go directly for the Aghanim Scepter and turn himself into a core? Or do you still try and keep going for this pick-off style?
I think going for something more team fight oriented. I think the Aghanims is still incredibly strong just because it buffs you up pretty hard.
Sorry, Envy's getting so much out of the Ancients. He can't tank it enough though, so he can't finish the job.
Did you just clap in real life?
I actually did.
Can the viewers even hear that?
No.
All right, Toby.
It was the sound of soft clapping.
Toby actually just stopped everything he was doing to clap his hands for Envy farming Ancients.
It's the steal, man. It's the steal. I appreciate a good farm.
You would have really liked DreamHack 2013. Like
actually, that was terrible. That you mean the no Tidehunter Rage,
yeah,
don't
it was
you?
like the smoke into the enemy Ancients to steal it.
I enjoyed the Chinese team, which would have been about 9 months ago, when it was all about fighting over the Ancients. So you'd always battle for the Vision on the Dire side over their Ancients, and they would just go ham, like time and time again, just run people over, and they'll be stacking the Ancients while they're team fighting. It was superb.
They've got their Night Stalker Ags now too.
Yeah,
they're gonna run out of Puppy for free.
That's just too easy on a Shaman. Even when he's got himself like this Solar Crest, the point booster, it's a rather tanky Shaman. There's still nothing with this Wings initiation.
Yeah, the Tiny, this is what he does best. Pick off support heroes, and he wasn't really slowed down in the early game, so he's able to keep up and continue to do this.
And Wings really look like they're about to win this game. The team fight just looks so strong.
You still have the question of how you're going to go high ground, or how easy is it going to be against a lineup like Secrets. They've got a lot of defensive capabilities, and chasing into the base might be a little bit more difficult for them, and that's the strength for them, is the open plains, is the ability to fight everywhere. Pylai Dai is going to get gone on. He does have the cloak up though, I believe, so he should be okay.
Sentry ward down. Pylai Dai, the Shackle Flies won't latch, and that'll just allow Faith to punch him down. Oh, there's your blinding light, and the support's coming in. You've always got to recall when you're going to keep with the light in the field. The call down as well. Puppy gets a wonderful ward trap over on Faith with the Hex as well. They're trying to break him free, but they can't do it in time. But you're going to lose EE. He dies over in the tree lines, giving Shadow a double kill. And now also the ward farms go the way of Wings. You just sacrifice to Tiny, which you're very happy to do. He's 400 gold away from his Aghanims. That answers your question about how you can go high ground. You've got a Tiny that can just beat through the buildings. Get a pick off with a vision they've got.
Should go for the Roshan next. And with it up, they do this pretty easily too with the Bristleback. He just continues to goo up as long as he keeps the charges cycling through, and they're going to put some pressure on Misery, but this is more just...
Misery's actually in a little bit of trouble because they've got unobstructed vision here. Can they cancel the TP? Yes, they can. Oh, 2 Bloodstones.
Look at that damage!
It's about to become a lot less. 1 Bloodstone charge.
That Bristle hits so hard. And with the medallion up on the Night Stalker, just absolutely cuts through him. Is now...
This is the beauty, man. This is the beauty, isn't it? And this is the reason why Bristleback used to get picked when... like, what was that? That old lane where you ran Jakiro is safe and the Bristleback off lane. You disappear for a little bit, he hits level 6, and he gets all this physical damage because of his wall path stacks.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
The Aegis is going to go on Shadow, as he has his BKB now. 2,900 gold, a full 10-second BKB charge on him. The Bristleback, Toby, he had his BKB so early on. He had it in the first Roshan engagement. Still 8 seconds on him. I was a little bit concerned about how they were going to go for the high ground and how you continue the chase, but when you've got like post 7-8 second BKBs, which they do, they've got the Aegis on top of them as well. The Tiny's almost got the Aghanim Scepter, which he actually does complete now. With the Roshan.
You actually look at the F5 inventory, everything looks so perfect in a line. With the 2 SMY fighters on the Gyrocopter as well as the Bristleback, and then the Trip Ags, which just follow after it. It's a wonderful display. And Secret. It comes back to the question again. What do they do to stop this pressure from Wings? Because they seem to keep getting picked up across the map. But how do you stop that from also happening? You can't win the vision battle up against a Night Stalker and a Coddle, who both have Aghanim Scepters.
All it takes, Toby, is one really good engagement for Team Secret. They still have an Ember as a core. He's incredibly strong, but he might just not deal enough damage against the cores and Wings. But, you know, Rapier is always an item that Envy can decide to go for. There's so much more that can punish him in this game than I've seen in previous games, though. The mana leak, as soon as it just gets casted on him in fights, most of the time you see Envy kind of just like juke people, outplay them. No chance for that.
It's so much more dangerous as well for Eternal Envy. With the changes to Ember Spirit, now he doesn't have the vision. Normally, even when he picks...
Misery's going to get tossed back.
Oh, they get the shackle though from Weeha. That's a big opening for Shadow. They just call him in. They throw down the Mass 7 Walls. This time there's no trap. It's a good Ice Blast. Keeper Line just couldn't get away. He was trapped inside the Chakram. And Puppey, well, Shadow's just committing in so deep. Weeha is completely out of mana. And Shadow's trying to keep this pressure on. Weeha blinks himself into the trees away from the vision of Wings.
Yeah, now with the wards down too, I think this is going to kind of signal Wings to decide to go for the high ground. They do lose their Keeper of the Light, which has played such a significant part in their strategy so far. But it looks like they're still kind of interested in going in as Misery's going to get tossed back.
That blink toss from Faith. Faith didn't have a lot of life to work with. The Ghost at protecting Timbersaw for a moment, and then he just commits suicide. He's still just hovering on one Bloodstone charge. Faith, careful.
One charge to rule them all.
Should Faith be backing up? Like, look at his life.
Toby, he's been playing Unafraid this all game. You've got to send. It's not even about dying here. It's about sending a message that you're willing to stay with this little HP. But Envy's going to go for the split push. This is absolutely what he needs to do right now. His team is in no position to fight, especially against an Aegis Gyrocopter who is doing quite a lot. And he's got a full Lincoln Sphere. I don't know if it's the item, but decides that it is.
Well, what is he looking to break out of? Like, what does it really stop? It stops the initiation from the Shadow Shaman, but Puppey hasn't initiated in, well, 34 minutes and 3 seconds.
I think it kind of works with the Shackle Shot, just because you want to be the first hero in with that Aegis. It's not even just that. You can place it on other heroes as well. To go for the counter Shackle, I'm sure we'll see that at least once.
Bristleback's going to go for the Basher build, so Abyssal Blade is on the way for him. Unless he wants to finish something else. Like, you're not getting any armor items on the Bristleback. Like, there's no AC, there's no Shiva's Guard. For anyone over on Wings, in fact.
I do think the Abyssal, though, will be pretty strong. It's just another control factor that I thought they lacked for a second, but it seems as though Mana Leak plus Tossback is enough for them. BKB is completed on Weeha. This was the item that we were waiting for. Like, this is something that he needed. The amount of Mana Leaks this fight.
He looks for the Shackle, but he can't get it. The movement from Bristleback with these Blink Daggers, it's really difficult for Weeha to actually latch that Shackle with the new changes. Envy goes for the Sleight of Fist. Minimal damage to the Dire Creep Wave after that Meg Charge goes. And because it's daytime, they keep getting healed up. These Illuminates are just buying Wings so much health. The Ice Blast will fly in, so the Gyrocopter's in a little bit of trouble, but he's got the Aegis of the Immortal. So even if Shadow does pop here, he's still going to survive.
No, he should be perfectly fine. They've got Glimmer up too, if they need it, but he is getting pretty low, as he's going to not actually get in the middle of the blast to get healed. But it's going to be Faith that clears out the creep wave. And now they've got to worry about this top lane. Or this bottom lane, actually. Yeah.
Envy doing Envy things. And he's already going to back out.
They can recall, though.
Yep. And that's the power of Wings, isn't it? You can just keep split pushing as well. Keep that pressure on with Illuminates and Quill Sprays, and let the Tiny do his work on the bottom lane. And let Gyro do whatever he wants up on the top. They keep all the lanes pressured in, and Team Secret have to keep multiple people in that mid lane to protect it.
No, the Keeper, the light pick has been perfect so far for them. Like, the ability to just kind of rotate the Tiny in and out as they're going to head back to this mid lane. They do still want to make use of the fact that they're ahead. The Aegis is down now, but Shadow's just going to replace that with the Demon Edge. This might be their high ground attempt, as they know there's not a lot of split push pressure.
There's Faith. Jumps in, they catch Pylite Die, can't get the single ability off, with no way to stop that regeneration of Wings. Wings can just go to town. Remember, they're here for the Rags, however, and Eternal Envy's going to try and slow that up with a good start of Fissurian Chain onto the Bristleback. There's not a lot of life on him. They've already triggered the Meg, but when Faith jumps in for another Avalanche toss, he's going to go down quickly. Misery found the target right. Able to find that kill on the Tiny, but Shadow, there's no cooldown available. He doesn't have his flank cannon either, so Shadow's not really pumping at any damage while he's trapped inside, well, protected by this BKB. Weeha with a blink avoids that. Again, Illuminate from Ice. As Wings will start to back out of here. They got what they wanted though. They took out the melee ranks, and it was a Tiny for an AA trade-off. No side lane pressure. Seems to be a good trade. And now Bristleback and, well, actually, no, we can't take the regen rune.
I thought for a second they went a little bit too hem there, but
it looked like it. It looked like Mizru was in a perfect position just to like shred them apart.
Just don't deal enough damage right now.
And they couldn't control him. Like Timber's getting closer and closer towards that Shiva's guard. If that triggered out, maybe Wings didn't get out of the base safely.
Yeah, that's one of my bigger concerns right now for Team Secret is that the Shadow Shaman can't really get into the mix of things. Like, you can't afford as Puppey to just be in the middle shackling and hexing and being like, yeah guys, I'll live through this. You're gonna immediately get bursted down by either the Tiny or the Flat Cannon, and so he has to play the positional game, just try to get his wards down before he dies, but this does mean that they're gonna lack a little in the control department, and Envy just can't afford to be in the middle of the fights either. So it's gonna come down to Weehaw and the BKB and the natural tankiness of the Timbersaw, who does have a full plate mail and the Ghost Scepter completed. This is an incredibly defensive build.
He had no other choice. Like, it was either that or be walking around with no Bloodstone charges for the rest of his life. It's like Wings is coming back in again. The middle lane's going to push itself in, but Eternal Envy doing Envy things, going to creep skip out. Doesn't want to come underneath the tier 2 tower. And, okay, that courier, oh, they don't want to lose this. It's got the Mystic Staff on it.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Friends.
That was actually the full Shivas. It was purchased inside. Okay, Envy. He's got another spirit to jump out to, but he just committed all of his spirits.
Fortunately for Wings, though, there's no way to really punish this. Honestly, they're just waiting for the next rush on. Like, it's a little bit too hard to breach high ground with what they have right now, Toby. And so you just wait it out a little bit, play patient. They've got so much map control. Everybody from Secret is afraid to leave the base. They're afraid to get mana leaked.
I'm not surprised. And Wings could just capitalize on this. Just keep farming across the map. You got 12,000 net worth advantage and it just continues to rise. And Secret can't really do anything to stop you. One surprising thing from Wings, though, is the fact they don't have any observer wards on the map at all. Like, I don't know if I just miss Secret, like taking care of them, like getting rid of them all the time.
No, it's fine. It's when you're this far ahead and you've got a gem or anything like that, plus the Night Stalker Aghanim's, you've got moving wards.
True. Team Secret have had enough of waiting.
I kind of would like to see like at least one of them.
Yeah. Just on the hillside, just so they can see.
Like, come on, guys.
Can't ask the world, man. Oh, Night Stalker triggers the ulti. Sees Pylai die as the smoke breaks, as well as Puppey Faith with the blink over, looking for the opening, and there it is. Pylai dies once again. The BKB will protect the Bristleback, so he doesn't get hit by the damage of the Ice Blast, even if he does get chilled up. Weehaw on this run blinks himself down and away, but Puppey, he won't be so lucky. The blink forward by Faith as well as Innocence. This high movable lineup, but they can
the shackle!
The shackle hits perfectly. The sleight of fist from Envy helps set it up, but the cooldowns here from Shadow with the flag cannon damage. It'll be a 2-for-2 trade-off. The Mana Serpent Wards are there, but they're not doing enough damage. And the rest of Team Secret not so certain they want to be fighting. If Wings need to, they can just buy back and recall their heroes, but they don't need to. They just play it safe.
I don't think you can afford to. The Ember Spirit does an ungodly amount of damage right now still, even with everything, and that shackle shot from Weehaw, that's all they needed to connect, and it finally does on 2 core heroes right there, and they still do quite a lot of damage, and this Tiny isn't tanky with this build though. He's got 12 armor, like he needs that Assault Cross on somebody at least for himself.
I'm wondering if it's worthwhile Wings now moving into a point where they set up a trap. Like, I don't want to say something like a Scythe of Ice over on a Tiny, but you give respect to the damage that Eternal Envy does, you wait for him to come out, pick him off, and then you believe you can go high ground. Like, you're going to get Nagus Immortal now, but even forcing the issue, one good shackle, one good Sleight of Fist Searing Chain, Wings saw what that was capable of doing. So you either make your team fight stronger, or you start finding these pickoffs. And it looks like Tiny's just going to go in for the AC anyway. So the armor advantage will be there. Roshan is just dying so quickly. The Blinding Light actually pushing back. Paladai can't even D-ward at the moment. And Faith War, Weehaw blinks away before the Avalanche will connect. Wings, they really want to pick, and they're going to get one. Paladai is just too damn slow. They throw forward the Bristleback into the Ancient Apparition. 44 seconds without the AA. But what is Wings really going to get? Their creep wave in the mid's pushed out too far, and the side lanes are also on the wrong side of the river.
mean, you probably can't put too much pressure on this after the fact, but if you're Wings, you've got the Aegis, no creep wave in this bottom lane, but might not really even care with the amount that you have right now. With the Bristleback having the Aegis, he can just blink in, Abyssal Blade somebody, blow them up. As a top, it's going to be Shadow that's going to be left behind and eventually recalled in.
Yep. Shackle latches again here from Weeha. Misery moves forward. They're tossing the Bristleback, actually repositioning, but Bristleback takes so much damage from Weeha still, and there's just Artificer in chains. The Bristleback, the Meg charge comes up in time. Misery, the Abyssal Blade, it's going to lock him in. The Ice Blast is still going to do some work, and Fate shackled to a tree. He was shackled by Puppey as well. The whole different types of bondage on the Faith, but he still breaks free. 126 life. They throw Weeha up, but Weeha, he'll bring Tiny down with a ship, and Misery back into the fight. So is Puppey with the shackles and the shock. The damage is there, but it's too high for the Bristleback. The Night Stalker is actually able to blink away and almost no life whatsoever. And Team Secret, they have EE as well as Misery alive. They still couldn't finish the job on the Night Stalker, and Misery fighting it out under Wings. And he has to go sip to TP, but that's not going to work. Night Stalker's back, so is Ice. They have 2 buybacks, and then now they're going to start expending them again.
So well done by Innocence there. The fact that he was able to just kind of play around with 200 HP, not really carrying the Shadow. He's going to lay down the call down for suppressing fire so that they can deal some damage on this tower. But it's going to be the Shackle attempt that doesn't go on the Bristle as he walks away. And Innocence, once again, he's going to be the lead.
He just keeps running in.
It's like 400 HP, doesn't even really care. Gets a silence off to make sure that Envy has to back up. But they're not going to get the tower, and that was one of the main objectives for them. But they do force out a lot of buybacks. At the same time, I think the Keeper of the Light uses buyback. Yeah, I'm reading that right. And the Gyrocopter has 6.2k, and he has a Satanic now, fully completed. This is going to help their high ground push out quite a lot, but
there's one upside for Secret. The Monkey King bar is now being purchased by Eternal Envy. He's had enough of Blinding Light. He's had enough of missing his hits.
Are we 100% certain that that's going to be an MKB?
He bought the Demon Edge on the Courier and then brought the Courier back. That's the only reason why I lean towards that and not towards the Rapier. I'm also very concerned if Envy does buy the Rapier. That's what I touched on probably 20 minutes ago. The fact that you don't have the Spirit Vision anymore for the Ember Spirit makes it really, really dangerous to go for something like the Rapier because you don't know what you're going into. So the split push of Envy, he almost has to leave the Rapier at base until Wings push and then grab it.
I mean, Danger's his middle name, man. He's okay with that.
I remember the words from Puppey. It's like, Envy wants to go a Rapier? I trust him.
He should. He's made it work time and time again. Like, this was the item that they used to bring themselves back.
And they found Innocence. Weeha. He needs the control, however. The Blink Shiva's gone from Misery. I don't know if he was expecting the rest of Wings to be on the other side of that tree line, but they weren't.
They've got to get out and reset the fight. They're under ward vision right now. You don't want to get collapsed on as that's what's happening right now.
The Glimmer. He's just walking himself in, gets a double avalanche. Innocence comes in, gets the
that's Shackle!
With the Shackle, it hits perfectly. They'll drop the gem, the cooldown, however, and the Blinding Light is going to make a lot of space here for Wings. Even though the synergy isn't absolutely perfect.
Oh, the wards are dropped though, and Wings are going to see this. Back out.
They lost their gem.
That was so awkward. When you toss one hero, like, you're trying to toss somebody back, but then the Tiny blinks forward and gets shackled to the Night Stalker. These are not tanky heroes. They have to play the positional game and try not to get shackled there, but Envy, he's out of mana and
he's got a Spirit available though.
Yeah, like he should be fine.
Yeah. Blink away. He needs to keep the wave pushed out anyway. So this isn't really a choice of his. Surprisingly enough, he didn't stick around. Like 2 swings. It is the Monkey King bar.
Yeah.
With 2 swings, he would have taken out this creep wave on the bottom lane, but didn't want to overstay his welcome. They have to buy a fresh new gem over on Wings. But funnily enough, with a almost a 20k net worth advantage, they've got the cash to do it. And now they go again. They Glimmer this time over on the Gyro, and they walk point blank on Puppey. That is one very dead Shaman.
He does have the buyback somehow. Like, I don't know how Puppey continues to afford things, but he's scraping by. He's got buyback available. Doesn't have the wards for 46 seconds though. This is the significant part for his team fight. As Shadow's going to get shackled up, but he has Satanic available, but not going to do too much when you get hit by the AA blast. Nope.
Actually managed
Just
to avoid
evades
it. And with the avalanche toss, they start the mana leak over on Misery. He tries to run himself out of the cooldown, but Ember Spirit, they just ran in with the Abyssal Blade.
They
and
don't have
Envy's
Envy
down.
anymore.
There's no EE, there's no Puppey, he diebacks. And the bottom ranks has just been obliterated by Wings. It's like Secret don't have anything else really in the arsenal to battle against Wings. They've lost too much.
Yeah, Weehaw doesn't have the BKB. It's down to 7 seconds now, too. It's on cooldown. They should be able to get Mega Creeps off of this. They're going to make one last-ditch effort. But you're going to need the craziest fight possible as...
Also, nice
they just
shackle.
don't care anymore.
No, that's GG. That is GG. The Ice Blast can hit on as many people as they want to at the end, but Wings, they are going to take game number 1, the first game of this group up against Team Secret. WCA has been a very uncertain road for a lot of the top teams, and it seems Secret is going to be no exception.
That was such a well-played game by Wings. Their strategy worked out really well. This might have been like the most relevant Keeper of the Light game I've ever seen. The amount of times that they were able to get